Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Nina, and I'll be co-hosting the second week of the 21-day meditation series with Kartikeya. So again, I hope all of you have been enjoying the course and are able to bring some of the elements you've been introduced to throughout the course to your day-to-day life. We're more than halfway into week 2 now. And so just before we start, if there's anyone that's watching and that's new through Zoom, please write your name down in the chat section and we'll organize a breakout room in just a minute to give a brief introduction to Sahaja Yoga meditation. And so for those of you who have been joining us since week 1, yesterday we spoke about the 4th energy center, which is the Untitled Chakra. And when awakened, this center gives us an innate sense of security and detachment within ourselves. It is also where our pure spirit resides. And today we'll be looking at the Vishuddhi Chakra, which is our 5th energy center. And the topic of today's session is talking the talk. So the Vishuli Chakra mainly governs our ability to communicate and the way in which we connect both with ourselves and with the world around us. And by activating the center, we can establish a communication which reflects a deep sense of respect for ourselves and for others. We also develop a sense of discretion of when to speak and what to say, which I think is extremely important in day-to-day life. And the power of our communication is directly affected by our ability to witness the drama of life. So when we are reacting to something said to us, we are not really aware of ourselves. Yet if we just watch the drama and if we find ourselves to just witness all that is going on around us, then we are able to say beneficial things to others, which really helps us. And so our invited presenter today is Nakul, who has been meditating for 21 years now and has benefited a lot from Sahaja Yoga meditation. So, hi Nakul, welcome to today's session. I'll pass it on to you.
So, welcome everyone. It's great to see you all here today. My name is Nakul. And tonight we have an amazing program on talking the talk, or to be more precise, the chakra which is associated with our talking and speech. We're going to talk about the Vishuddhi Chakra. Can the tech team please bring up the slide? So while the tech team is working on that, so the Vishuddhi Chakra, as Nina also mentioned, Vishuddhi Chakra is the 5th chakra in our subtle system. And its subtle qualities are about collective consciousness, communication, and establishing a state of witness. So let's first have a look at its location on our body. So it is located at the throat, as I indicated before. It's the cervical plexus within us. On our hands, it's represented by our pointing fingers or the index fingers. And it's on the feet, it's the second toe. And it is also in charge of our wrists, ankles, arms, neck, and shoulders. It is also in charge of quite a number of elements on our faces. And it looks after the 5 senses that we have to perceive the environment. On our head, the center is just at the root of our hair, right here on the hairline. This center has 16 petals, meaning there are 16 subplexuses. So, yeah, so this is the basic of this chakra. Now let's settle ourselves. We're going to put ourselves in a bandhan and go into a meditation before we look at the other qualities of the center. So let's do it together. We'll start by raising our Kundalini 3 times. We can do it together. We can tilt our head backwards, 1 knot. Do it a second time. This time we'll do 2 knots. Third time, we can do 3 knots. Now keeping our left hand on our lap, we can do the bandhan, which is putting aura of protection around it 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we can put our hands on our lap, palms open, and we can close our eyes and go into meditation for a couple of minutes. So we're trying to establish the state of thoughtless awareness. And start by bringing our attention on our breathing. Slowly move our attention to the top of our heads on the Sahaja Chakra. And slowly inhale. Take a short pause before exhaling. Exhale. Then again take a short pause before inhaling again. This exercise really helps to calm the mind and bring our attention inside. You can repeat it a couple of times. All right, we can now slowly open our eyes. And now let's have a look at the qualities of the Vishuddhi Chakra. As I said earlier, the quality of this chakra is collective consciousness, the communication with others, and the ability to establish a state of witness within us. So this chakra has 3 different aspects: the center, the left side, and the right side. So we're going to see the qualities of each of these different aspects of this chakra. At the central level, the quality of this chakra is proper communication with sweetness and kindness, and to have the ability to have some diplomatic ways when we interact with people, be respectful, the feeling of being collective, as part of being something bigger as a whole, experiencing this oneness, this collective consciousness, because in our core we are all one, we are all together, we all grow as a society. The ability also to be in the witness state, which means detachment and seeing everything as a play as it's happening and not being too worried about things. And also we have this ability to have more fun and more humor, because when we start to take things lightly, we enjoy them more and they become more joyful. Now, on the left side, this center relates to our self-esteem and self-respect. It is the center that embodies the pure relationship between brothers and sisters. Uh, it's also, it's also the pure relationship with other people, and the ability to face and correct our mistakes without feeling guilty. In India, there's a very beautiful ceremony called Raksha Bandhan, where that embodies the beautiful relationship between brothers and sisters, where the sisters are tying a thread around the brother's wrist to symbolize this relationship. Also, now on the right hand side, the quality is to respect other people, the ability to interact with them sweetly, beautifully, the ability to have diplomacy, to understand what is good for other people as well as what is good for us. And because this center is in charge of our voice, we also gain the ability to talk sweetly and clearly with people without trying to overpower them, without being aggressive, and actually through a voice which helps them to provide some avenues to grow spiritually. So our words have a lot of power in them. Now, what happens when this chakra is actually caught up? So the biggest enemy of this Vishuddhi Chakra is jealousy. So because it goes against our common purpose, it goes against the evolution of human society. At the center aspect, this issue can be related to, like, when you're too individualistic, not being part of having a collective behavior, or having lack of witness state. And there are some physical manifestations of this as well. Like if if we catch a cold, or we have some sinus problems, that can definitely affect the center. And also smoking is also affecting the center quite a lot, and we might even lose the sensation or the perception of the cool breeze in our hands. Now on the left side, if this chakra is caught up, um, why that happens is because if you're feeling too guilty all the time, if you feel guilty for nothing at all, instead of facing up to our mistakes and acting up to how we can improve upon them, and if we don't talk at all, or we don't express ourselves, we have an introvert kind of behavior, or if we are too lazy, lethargy also affects this left Vishuddhi, and also lack of self-esteem. So these are the main reasons why the left Vishuddhi gets caught up. And on the right side, this can be caught up if we don't use our voice properly. If if you're swearing too much, if we have a harsh, aggressive speech, if we are sarcastic when we talk to people, or if we are too superficial and we talk about a lot of things that are of no consequence, and there is no depth in our communication, or if we're criticizing people behind their back, so these things don't really benefit the society as a whole. So while on the left side, it was the lack of self-respect, on the right side is when we don't respect other people. We try to dominate them with our voice, or we have a superiority complex. And we can actually find out through some symptoms if this chakra is caught up. Like if it's caught up, we'll have some cold of flu or sinus problems. We can have throat problems. There can be loss of voice. We can also have problems, as I mentioned earlier. It also controls the five senses. We can even lose the senses, like we can lose the sense to smell, and so on and so forth. There's lots of things associated with this chakra. And so, as Nina briefly mentioned earlier, this is also related to discretion. How? Because there's another chakra which is right here on top of our nose, just between our eye line. This is called the Hamsa chakra. So this chakra is very important because it gives us divine discretion. It gives us the ability to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong. Now today we have a very beautiful talk of Shrimataji. It's a little bit long, but it's very nice. It's very strong. And Shrimataji is talking about the qualities of the Vishuddhi Chakra. There have been many prophets and saints born at different times of evolution at different energy centers. For the Vishuddhi Chakra, it's Sri Krishna. Mother does refer to the quality of sweetness of Sri Krishna, and she also focuses on the right Vishuddhi. So, can I just ask everyone to keep your hands open on your lap so that you can actually receive the vibrations while we're watching the talk? And try to keep your attention on top of your head, on the Sahasrara Chakra, so we can absorb the maximum vibrations. Now, let's watch Mataji's video.
We have to keep our Vishuddhi Chakra all right. We have two sides, as you know, is the left and the right. So the right side is the Vishuddhi Chakra, which is speaking, which is talking about dharma, which is on the aggressive side, we can say. Those people who are aggressive, who talk in an aggressive manner, who are, say, trying to dominate others by their talks, are the people who are right-sided. I have shown people, those who really do wrong things. Say a person, a servant, steals something. You call him, he'll be so rude to you that you'll be amazed. This man is so rude, how can he have been able to steal something? He's not afraid, he's answering you back so nicely. So those people who are right-sided can cover up any sin that they have committed, any wrong they have done, any murder they have done by their talk. It could be a talk which is very aggressive, blatant. People might think, oh, how can that be? This man is telling so loudly everything, and you are stunned. And you think, no, it's not possible. How can a person who says this? In this way, we too, as ordinary human beings, indulge into all kinds of nonsensical things, and then we try to justify it by talking, wriggling out of it. You know, as many criminals, war criminals, have come out of it by just talking, by creating stories, by showing something like that. That also is with all human beings, they have this capacity to say something by which to hide whatever wrong you are doing. But it is never realized by them that whatever harm you have done is not going to be forgiven and will be less forgiven when you talk like this. Because Sri Krishna is finished. If you start justifying, rationalizing all your wrong things, then you will be punished. And you will be punished very badly in so many ways that you will not know how to get it out of it. Physically, mentally, emotionally, every way you will be. So our right Vishuddhi, we have to have a temperament, a culture, a style, a behavior, which has got the quality of Sri Krishna, which is called as Madhurya, means melodious. Melodious. We should talk in such a manner that it should be melodious. The person who listens to you listens as if he is listening to the flute of Sri Krishna. The voice of a Sahaja Yogi should be sweet like that, when you talk to someone, it should be melodious. It should not be aggressive at all, but on the contrary, it should be melodious. It should not be sarcastic. It should not hurt another person. Any word that hurts others cannot be coming from the proper type of right Vishuddhi. So in no way one should hurt. I wish all the Sahajogis develop that melodious voice of Sri Krishna as their Vishuddhi is awakened. Madhurya, in his behavior, Madhurya is, see, while talking to someone, there are so many gestures by which you can express your Madhurya. For example, especially in Italy and other places, I've seen people use too much of their hands. This is also Sri Krishna's style. So they use their hands in such a way that sometimes you don't understand what they are meaning. And sometimes it can be quite aggressive also, the way they use their hands. Now the hands must be used in such a way that it should create madhurya. I have seen this in Russia, or especially in Eastern blocs, where people, they have to express their love. Just put this. If they have to say namaste, the whole expression is so sweet, and also their heart is very full when they see me. So they don't know how to express it. So they just put their hands like this. Or they feel shy, they do like this. Very, very sweet things they express through their hands, through their eyes. It is the tears, you see, that really create such clouds of, I should say, very dense clouds of compassion in my heart when I see their eyes expressing their love for me. Everything, the tears, everything, that's the face, the eyes, the hands, all this belong to Sri Krishna. So in their behavior, in their talking, how they express themselves. You can use the same eyes for showing your temper and getting angry. Many people use eyes for controlling others. They'll put their eyes like this, stare at someone, try to control. They may use their eyes also for condemning someone. Also sometimes they use sort of spit at someone or try to show the tongue to insult someone. So in the behavior also, we must have a kind of a sweetness. Like when I went to England first, I learnt English in my own way. But when I went there newly, they said, now if you have to say a word like thought, you must say thought. I said, what? You must take out your tongue and say thought. I said, it's absurd. Why should you take out your tongue? He said, unless until you take out your tongue like that, it's not something proper expression. So I said, this is English, you have developed some nonsensical thing to show tongue at everyone. Even a child, when he gets angry, automatically he shows his tongue. So you see, all these expressions are, and making faces. Now, as they say that stiff upper lip, you must have heard about that. With the nose like that, snooty nose, or a face where you just make your faces and make a crooked face just to tease someone, or to make an expression out of your nose. Also people do it like this, to show as if you are sneezing at that person. All these things, expressions are coming out of Sri Krishna's grace. But the power of that is madhurya, is the sweetness, the melodiousness. The rapport should be so sweet that rapport should create tremendous joy and tremendous happiness. As you have heard the song of Baba Mama's, On My Eyes, only I looked at him, I says with that glance, that generated that beautiful music in him. So, as far as possible, try to put your eyes on the greenery. That's the best. Then it soothes down, and also you develop the soothing quality of the greenery. I always tell people that better see the greenery around, how it soothes your eyes. In the same way, you should try to soothe the other person when you talk to that person. The person must melt. Instead of that, if you start arguing and fighting with that person will never melt. On the contrary, you will be adding fire, more fire to that person. That was the quality of Sri Krishna, is the madhurya. And that is expressed in his lifetime, how he beautifully managed to say things in his own sweetness, especially in his childhood. The another quality which Sri Krishna has, which we can express through our right Vishuddhi, is diplomacy. But there are two types of diplomacies. One is genuine, one is artificial. In the genuine diplomacy, you do not have to take to a certain standard, or you don't have to read some books to know what is diplomacy. Is it genuinely it comes to you. The whole thing works very sweetly in such a genuine manner. I have used it many a times myself, and you all can use it also many a times. That's only possible if you don't get angry with someone. Not possible if you are angry. Now there's a story I've told you about some, this Gagangarh Maharaj. I went to meet him, and he was very angry because he could not stop the rain. He was supposed to stop the rain, and I was all drenched. And he was so angry, and he said that, is it my ego you are trying to control? And like that he started little bit fighting with me. I said, no, that's not the reason. He said, why? Why did you not allow me to stop the rain? You are all drenched. I said, because you are a sannyasi and you bought a sari for me. I would not take a sari from a sannyasi. So I had to get drenched for your sake. The whole thing finished off. The whole anger, temper finished off. This is how we have to melt people. The diplomacy is not convincing anybody with his intellect or by temper or anything, but it is to melt away another person by your goodness, by your good words, by your sweet works, by your forgiving nature. This quality he had, and he tried this on many people. It worked on some, it did not work on some. He didn't feel it's a failure. It's the reaction of the another person which is important to be seen. So this quality of right Vishuddhi you should have is to talk to others and melt them away.
Welcome back, everyone. Now let's talk about how we can clear our Vishuddhi Chakra. So we can use affirmations, especially for the left side, like we did when we got our self-realization. We can put our right hand on our left shoulder, tilt our heads a bit to the right, press it down, and here we can say 16 times that Mother, I am not guilty. Or Mother, I am not guilty at all. We can also say another affirmation for the Vishuddhi Chakra by placing our right index finger on our Vishuddhi Chakra. Here we can say that, Mother, I am part and parcel of the whole. So what this does is this helps us to increase the sense of belonging, the sense of oneness, that we are part of a greater collectivity. We can, of course, use mantras, which we'll be taking you through in week 3. And also a technique which I have found very useful is, if we borrowed it from Prophet Muhammad, that is by praising God and saying Allahu Akbar, which translates to God is great. So in this technique, I'll show you once, and then we can do it. You can do it 16 times. So in this technique, we look towards the sky, we put our index or Vishuddhi fingers in our ears, and we can just say simply 16 times, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So I've just said it a few times, but this technique, if we can say in the morning time, 16 times, this really helps to open the vocal cords and open the Vishuddhi Chakra. There's another one there where we can give vibrations to our Vishuddhi Chakra. We can obviously keep our left palm open, and with the right palm, we can rotate it clockwise to give vibrations to the Vishuddhi Chakra. Now, in terms of behavior, as we heard in Mother's talk as well, it's very important that we speak sweetly, without any aggression, without any criticism in our speech. It's also useful that, if you're someone who talks too much, that you should try to speak a little bit less. Or if you're a person who doesn't talk at all, who doesn't voice their opinion, then you should also try to speak more to get the right balance. And it's also helpful that we do not argue with people over nonsensical things, or things that lead nowhere. Physically, in winters, it can be very useful to keep a scarf around the neck to protect it from the exposing it to the cold, so that we don't get a cold or flu or any other viruses. That also helps. And another thing about like left Vishuddhi is we shouldn't be lazy. Laziness is seriously not helping this center. Self-pitying is also not good. So feeling guilty, if you feel guilty, just tell yourself, stop, and ask yourself simply, okay, what can I do to correct the situation? Instead of thinking too much about being guilty, just think what you can do to correct the situation. It's most importantly, Sri Krishna, the aspect of the deity of Sri Krishna is all about the Leela or the play. To see the fun in all situations, in all walks of life, to enjoy, a detached behavior, a detached life with humor. That certainly helps to the Vishuddhi Chakra. That goes a long way. Now let's meditate for a few minutes. We can all keep our hands on our lap. We can all keep our attention on top of our heads, on the Sahasrara Chakra, on the fontanel bone area. We can close our eyes. Try to reach that state of thoughtless awareness. Let's try a couple of techniques to improve the sensitivity of the Vishuddhi Chakra. The first technique, we are going to put our right hand across the junction made by our left shoulder and the neck. We're going to press down a bit, and here, with full sincerity, with full faith, we can say, Mother, I am not guilty. Mother, I am not guilty at all. We can say this from our heart 16 times. If we are the spirit, how can we be guilty? If God, our Lord, is the ocean of forgiveness, how can we be guilty? Guilt will keep you only in the past, preventing you from moving forward. So with all your heart say, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now we can put our right hand back on our lap. We can put our right index finger on our throat in the front. And here we can say 3 times, Mother, I am part and parcel of the whole world. Mother, I am part and parcel of the whole world. Mother, I am part and parcel of the whole world. We can slowly bring our hand down on our lap. With our attention on top of our head on our Sahaja Chakra. If there are any thoughts, just watch the thoughts. Don't indulge. Denying the thoughts is also helpful. If there are any thoughts, you can say, not this, not this. Not this, not this. Now to finish the meditation, we can all together raise our Kundalinis and put ourselves in abundance. Let's do it together. Push our heads back. Give it a good knot. And just see if you can feel the cool breeze in your hands. Or some indications where you should put your attention to improve your subtle system. Thank you. We can fold our hands and say, thank you, Mother, for this wonderful meditation. Thank you, everyone. I'll hand over the session to our MCs, Nina and Karthikeya. Over to you.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Nakul, for that great session. Really enjoyable meditation, actually. It was really nice experience there, and focusing on the Vishuddhi Chakra, which is, again, another important subject to talk about. And speaking of talking, yes, it's very important quality in terms of, especially with communication and developing that aspect of sweetness and diplomacy through our voice when we're talking to people, and also, like, the way we want people to talk to us as well. We want the way we want to talk, people talk to us, we should talk to them in that sense as well. So obviously there's always a balance in terms of how we approach people, how we talk to them, how we communicate. And yeah, it's very important. Also, and on that topic, it's also very important, is observation, is being able to, as Knuckle previously said, like becoming that witness and just taking a step back and being able to sort of observe the situation that's happening, observe the conversations that we're in, the topics of conversation that we're in, and be able to sort of approach it in a way that we're not being aggressive, we're not putting people down, we're not talking negatively. We really opening ourselves to being being very humble in that sense, because we don't want to bring ego into it. We want that sense of I-ness. When we're talking about being parts and parcel of the whole world, we're taking that sense of individualism out of ourselves. We want to be part of something bigger. That's why we come here together to meditate, because otherwise we'd say you can just do this meditation at home by yourself, but you're not feeling the same effects when we're gathered together and you're being able to meditate, and we can talk to each other about certain aspects. If we're feeling something that's not quite working well, or you can get some guidance, and being able to meditate together it feels like such a complete difference than just meditating by yourself at home. It's definitely that was one of the great things of having these. Obviously before COVID, we used to run programs all around Melbourne and Australia and all around the world as well. We would have physical programs, so many yogis would run, and that privilege to be able to give realization face to face and be able to communicate what Shumataji's teachings, and be able to give our own experiences face to face. You realize that, especially in these days now, how much face to face means, being able to communicate, because by looking through a screen, we're not able to communicate sometimes what we want to know. So that's why we have to start becoming very subtle within ourselves, because of some of the difficulties that we face now in this current lifestyle, that we really need to be very diplomatic in how we talk, and being able to communicate what we want to talk about, our emotions, and things like that. So especially in this day and age now, with so much technology and things like that, it's a very, very important topic. I think Knuckle can really express that. How feel that works in your sort of current lifestyle in your workplace?
Yeah, it's very important. I can feel that, you know, this communication, this interaction with everyone, it really makes a big difference. It really does. And with being locked up in the houses, you know, you really start missing out on this part of being collective, this communication, talking to people, you know, because with words have the power to heal, words have the power to express love. That's the biggest power, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, as you said, like to express, you know, love, joy, that's really important. I think that's being able to express ourselves, to communicate with our loved ones, and, you know, be able to share our experiences. That all comes from this aspect in our Vishuddhi Chakra, being able to communicate, and just being able to just enjoy that moment, becoming the witness, and being able to just take a step back and observe things from a distance and realize that, you know, we don't have to be so aggressive in the way we talk. And like even now, before, like I tend to have a quick meditation before the program starts, and I usually tend to, you know, work on my Vishuli Chakra just to help myself to prepare for these programs, because it's kind of like, oh, let me be able to communicate to all of you people there, so I can communicate nicely, like, you know, express what I want to through these teachings, like the joy and the experience that we feel through that. So it's always, yeah, definitely especially like, I know if people have meetings and big meetings and things like that, or, you know, public speaking and all that stuff, and it's can be very daunting. So, you know, you can always just give a quick, like as a Nakul said, you can give a quick rundown, just put your attention on there and just, you know, ask like, I'm not in charge of this, I'm not in control. Like, you know, this energy within us, this Kundalini energy that we've talked about so much, it's guiding us, it's nurturing us. So it wants the best for us because it's part of us. So if we're putting our attention there and just asking that, let my voice be sweet, let me communicate, let me be diplomatic, you'll find that you'll tend to say things, it'll just come out very naturally. And sometimes you don't even know what you're saying sometimes, but it's exactly what you need to be saying. I find that on so many occasions that's worked for me so much, especially in my uni and work. And yeah, it does. It's definitely like a great tool to use in this day and age. So so we'll conclude that session for today for the Vishuddhi Chakra. And I know there's a few new people, a few people that have not sort of joined us in the last few days. So I'll quickly go through the resources as I always do, just to give everyone an idea. So again, just reminding everyone that we've got the website freemeditation.com.au, and that's in the December class that we're doing at the moment. So anyone for new joining as well, we have the sessions running every day, and we're in week 2 now, intermediate session. We're almost finished there. We have just a couple of days left, and then from the this Thursday, we'll have the advanced session happening. So that's also going to go a lot more in depth, in detail with the stuff that the center that we have been talking about currently. So really important sessions, those ones coming up. And yep, we've got the 2 links to join the sessions. So Zoom, which is definitely recommended to join, and on YouTube as well. And that's you know, if anyone of you have missed the sessions, then we have the talks recorded, so you can watch them at your own time. And definitely, you know, it's always good to repeat watching some of those ones again, because sometimes you miss a few things here and there, might not understand. So even with this session today, it'd be good to like kind of look at it again and just go through the meditations and get a bit more of an understanding of the center that we talked about today. And as always, we've also got the WhatsApp group. So we've had a few new people, I think, join today. So that's why we weren't sure if any people on today at the moment. But yeah, this is the WhatsApp group. There's a link there, and I think Nina can also share that on the Zoom chat. And that that's all the presenters and all the MCs are on that group as well. So if you have any questions at all, anything that's anything in regards to your meditations or just how you're feeling, and any questions and just in general about specific techniques that you saw in any of the videos, you can put a question on there and ask, and we'll be more than happy to help you with that. And we'll just go down to the session. So we've just finished day 12. So that'll be ready to go once this session is finished. You can definitely have a look at that on YouTube. And I know tomorrow, from what I've been told, is that we're doing another Footwork session on the thing. So that's a really good one. So definitely get your Footwork buckets ready, and your salt and everything like that. If for those who maybe missed that session, it is just in this one, cooling down the thinking process. So it's day 9. So we went in quite a bit of depth in terms of the Footwork technique. So you might have heard we were talking about it in previous sessions about the Footwork technique. So in this session, Sue, the presenter, went through a really nice step-by-step process on how to prepare yourself for the Footwork, getting the bucket, the salt, and the water, and then going through meditation with the Footworking. So definitely this is a really, really good one to watch. Again, if you forgot how to do the Footworking, or if you missed that session, definitely have a look at this one, day 9, because that's a really, really good one to do. So yeah, well, tomorrow we'll, from what I've been told, we'll be doing another Footwork for that session. So if you haven't got your Footwork bucket, then tub, sorry, then you can get that ready. And yes, and we've got all the resources as well. So going through that again, preparing for Footwork. So there's also on here as well, if you missed that out, just gives you a quick list of what you need and the sort of position that you can take while Footworking, just on the chair with your Footwork tub, and going through that technique. We'll also be going, I think maybe today or tomorrow, we'll be also going through this candle treatment as well, and this is to help with the left side. So usually Footwork is to do with the right side, so we, it's cooling down our right side, and the candle technique that we'll be doing later on, that'll be for our left channel. So that's sort of, in a sense, just heating up our left side, in a sense that it's because we tend to be, that's our side of laziness and lethargy. So we're trying to give energy to that channel to bring it back into balance. So we'll go into more detail about that, of course, and in the candle treatment. And then so there's more resources there for different topics. There's this one as well, Hamza, that Knuckle was talking about on the top of their head. So there's different locations according to the plexuses and the centers of our, as they are like on our fingers. We also have them on our heads, the certain plexuses. So you may sometimes find, some sort of niggling pain or like a sensation around those areas, in those particular parts, that could correlate with that center. So that's also a nice indication to help you guide you in your meditation when you need to clear out a particular chakra. That's definitely have a look at those ones. And there's Shumanaji's talking about that as well. So great little resource there for that. And as always, we'll end the session with a bit of a quick Q&A. And is there anyone here who's got a few questions to ask, or they might have missed the previous sessions? They can catch up on this. I might ask a couple of names out. Tony, I think I've seen you in previous sessions, but I think you missed a couple of the last sessions before. How have you been going with your meditations?
Yeah, I've been fine. I had a virus in my computer. So
Okay.
I took it to work and got it fixed. So now I'm back online.
Yeah. And have you been doing the meditations at home?
Yeah, I do about 10, 15 minutes in the morning before I go to work.
Nice.
They're really, really worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if did you catch the one on the Footworking as well? The video?
No, I haven't done the foot soaking.
No.
So you're doing foot soaking tomorrow, are you?
Yeah, I think from what I understand, we're doing the Footwork tomorrow. But again, like as I said before, there's that. If you have, it's a good chance to maybe look at that day 9 session that we went a bit of in depth with that Footworking. Also the resources on the website, just give you a bit of a guide. But yeah, like it's a really great tool, especially in the evenings. We always recommend the best time to do is in the evening, like when you come back from work or maybe just before you go to bed. It's a really great way of just, you know, you've got lots of thoughts happening, very right-sided, very heated. So it's a great way to just cool ourselves, cool our mind, cool our body, and it helps with the meditation a lot more better. So yeah, definitely have a look at that one.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. And yeah, thanks. So that's for all today. Again, yeah, you know, if you have any more questions or if you forgot anything at the moment, but you remember it later on, definitely check it on the WhatsApp group. We're always keeping an eye on it, so definitely put all your questions there, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But we'll leave it at that today, and we'll have the next session same time tomorrow, and we'll be focusing on our Sahaja Chakra, which is on the forehead. So it's also really great and interesting topic to listen into. So love to see you all there again tomorrow. So have a good night and see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
तुझ्याच मार्गाची पारे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुझ्याच मार्गाची पारे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी कल्या फुले फुले तुला पुकारती पहा तुझीच चालली नभात आरती
कल्या कल्या फुले फुले तुला पुकारती पहा तुझीच चालली नभात आरती
तुला दिशन हारती आता घरोघरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुझ्याच मार्गाची पारे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुझ्याच मार्गाची पारे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी Zahala agera vaisala ila zagira todaya amisa shukala
तुझ्या मुलेच झाला अखेर व्हायचला तिला सदीर थोडा
माझे तुझ्याकडे तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुझ्या माताजी परे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुझ्या माताजी परे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुका आमुचे कले तुझीच साधवना आमाशा नोशनी मिले
श्रीमाताजी तुलाच तुका आमुचे कळे तुझीच साधना आमाशा नोक्षणी मिळे
निनाद सहज योगचा तुम्हे धरो धरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुझ्या माताजी परे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी तुझ्या माताजी परे प्रकाश अंतरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी समान एकही नसे तुझ्या विना सदैव या पुढे करू तुझीच वंदना
तुझ्या समान एकही नसे तुझ्या विना सदैव या पुढे करू तुझीच वंदना
करेला अमृता परी तुझीच वैखरी तुझेच सहज योग हे फिरे जगावरी